Hello, everyone, and welcome back to On Tap Bets. Joey's, as you know, we're always experiencing some form of technical difficulties because you got two dum-dums on the mic. But today, we're going to go over a little bit of MLB opening day, some MLB Futures. We got a special guest, as you see. There's a third person on the mic today with us that is an unnamed man until I introduce him. But today with us on the mic is Johnnie Black, all the way from lovely Massachusetts. So, Johnny, how are you today, my man?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Looking forward to making some money for people today.
Yeah, baseball starts tomorrow. There's a full slate of games, and got Final Four this weekend. There's a whole bunch of stuff to be talked about. But Joey, can we hear you now?
I don't know. Can you?
Yes, we can.
All right. All right. Yeah, I'm doing good. I was trying to really hype this up. I was trying to hype up my man Johnnie Black joining us here, and I threw my arms up in the air, and then the words weren't coming out of my mouth, and I was still hearing music replaying in my headset. So with that said,
I saw your mouth moving, and I didn't hear anything coming out. So I was like, oh yeah, I got to take over here.
Yeah, I appreciate you doing that. Like I said before hopping on here, we're all pros here, right? We've been doing this for a while. We've been doing the podcasting, the writing, all that stuff for a while. And Johnny, and that's why I'm so happy that you're joining us as a guest today, because you have been doing this for a long time. You were the one that initially took me on to the Scorecrow before we transitioned over to Primetime Sports Talk. And then I went over now. I've been with OnTap Sportsnet for, I don't know, what is it, 2 years now? It feels like.
Yeah. So it feels like forever, right?
It's been, it feels like forever. I mean,
years ago.
Initially, getting my writing start basically at the Scorecrow, and then meeting all you guys over there. And we've done a bunch of shows, Too Much Pod Tar with Alex, a lot of different stuff that we've combined on. One of my favorite articles of all time was actually my first article that I wrote at the Scorecrow, was the Sammy Sosa Hall of Fame case article. And Johnny, if you can't tell, I've gotten a lot better as a writer since then. It was just, it meant a little bit more to me writing that piece. But, and also, if you can't tell, me and Bdon are two big Cubs fans. So I'm going to let the listeners know, and whoever's watching this, Johnny,
don't take our Cubs bets. Yeah, don't take our Cubs bets.
Don't take our Cubs bets. But Johnny is a big Twins fan. So
that's right.
Look, we got that in common. We like the Twins because we don't like the other team in that division. So
that's right. That's right.
But how are you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Bringing the Scorecrow back. We teamed up with Primetime Sports, but things went south with that, and for other reasons. And now I'm trying to bring the Scorecrow back into the betting atmosphere. I'm in Massachusetts. I'm right outside of Boston. So now DraftKings is based in Boston, and now it's legal to bet up here. And I wrote a bunch of articles last year for another website, and I did picks for games on the weekends. And I hit just about 60%. And I figured if you would have done $100 bet on each one of my picks, you would have made $3,300 last year. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take the Scorecrow. I have the website. I have the domain. I have taken it in a different direction. So now it's just going to be DFS, just going to be betting all year, and try to do it every day. So I'm definitely into it.
Awesome. Yeah. I mean, I know from all of our conversations, baseball, fantasy sports, fantasy baseball and betting baseball. 60% is nothing to sneeze at. Like, let me tell you, especially in baseball. Baseball is one of the
60% pays the bills.
It does
takes you to the cash counter.
Yep. You're gonna start mooing at people. You're just such a cash cow if you get that 60% clip this season. But it's cool that Massachusetts you can now bet in Massachusetts. Now finally legal.
Finally.
Yeah.
It's about time.
I'm excited for you because I know you're gonna have even more fun this season while being able to do it legally. But with that said, boys, we have opening day tomorrow. We have Major League Baseball, real action, real game, regular season action.
Oh, yeah.
The national holiday is tomorrow. I've been saying that since I was a kid, that it's a national holiday, and it really is. I'll be in attendance at Wrigley in the bleachers, going nuts with our boy Ron Luce and Juice and Tyler and the rest of whoever, all the bleacher bums out there. It's going to be a great time. But with that said, we are here to talk about some picks that we like MLB Futures wise going into the season. We're going to talk about, team totals. We're going to talk about maybe some MVP bets that we're placing all over the board. And really, we can go wherever you guys want to go with this. I guess we'll start with Johnny. What's your favorite kind of team total, I guess, this season, or a few team totals that you like this year?
Team totals. I threw up an article on the Scorecrow. Some of the team totals. What I did basically was I went through the rosters and I kind of predicted my own team totals. I came up with my own predictions. And then I looked at the totals on a couple different DraftKings and FanDuel and blah, 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 and saw them. Whatever stood out to me, whereas my team total was, say, 5.5, 5 or 6 ahead or behind of whatever the over-under was. And 6 teams came out to me. But one of the ones that really stood out to me was the A's. DK has them at 60. They have 60 wins, 60 and a half wins. So you're telling me the A's are losing 102 games? I mean, they're horrible. Did you see their opening day lineup?
It's bad.
I mean, the 3 of us and 6 other guys could hit better than them. It's disgusting. And they got rid of Pash. Pash just went. Where did he just go? He just got signed by somebody. Christian Pash. I think the Brewers.
Oh, Pash. Yeah, Pash is out.
Yeah, he's gone.
Wow, they didn't give him much life. I didn't think he was ever really going to be a great hitter, though. I'll be honest, but
I mean, they traded for him and then they let him go, and now he just signed with somebody. I can't remember. I just saw it, but I'm just saying the A's is just garbage, and in that American League, what are they doing? They're not winning 60 games. There's no way they're winning 60 games.
Dude, they have Kyle Muller.
That's really stood out to me.
That's their opening day starter, dude.
Kyle Muller
starting against Ohtani? Come on, just right off the bat, man. And who are their other starters? Can you name their starting rotation?
I know they have that new guy from Japan, right?
They still have Cole Irvin.
He's gone. Irvin's gone.
Christ.
Fujinami? Is it Fujinami?
Fujinami. Yep.
Yeah, they have him. They have is Cole? Yeah, Cole Irvin is gone.
Yeah, he is. He's on the Orioles.
Wow,
dude, that might be what
that's what I'm saying.
That might be the worst baseball team.
You can't. That team is just garbage.
They might not have 60 people come and watch them throughout the season.
Probably not.
It's sad because I have one of my good buddies now. I don't know if I'm actually supposed to share this or not, but so I won't say names, but one of my good buddies now pretty much works. We'll say he works at the Coliseum. And yeah, he's
career suicide. Well,
luckily for him, he has another pretty good job that actually pays the bills because it's expensive to live out there. But I was talking to him. I was like, dude, who do you guys have? I go, have fun cheering for Seth Brown all season. Like, what else do you have? Seth Brown maybe has some pop, but no, I agree, Johnny.
Tony Kemp and Ramon Laureano. This is basically there.
Laureano's a little thumper, a little 5'8" thumper.
It's interesting to see what Langoliers can do. I mean, they got him from the Sean Murphy deal from Atlanta. Like Langoliers is, we'll see.
I do like Langoliers. I do. I think late in rounds, like for fantasy drafts and stuff, I think it makes sense for him. But I agree. I think the A's are kind of one of those teams where I don't see them winning a ton of games.
60 and a half is such an absurd number. I can't believe, and they're still not going to hit it. They're going to win like
no.
You're going to say like 50 and 113, 50 and 112.
I have them at 52 and 110.
Oh my god!
So yeah, that's what I mean. It was an 8.5 point difference when I had it.
And you know what?
So I
And
was
you know
like,
what?
you know what?
Like, let's call a spade a spade. Let's say we're at game 162 and the A's are sitting at 60 wins. They're going to be plus money to win that last game. There's a hedge out at many. There are many hedge out points along the way that when the A's are going to be plus 295 to win a game. You're like, well, you're going to just have to keep hammering them until they finally win and go over. Hypothetically speaking, you know what I'm saying? So I do like that because I mean, if you're only expected to win 60.5 games, I mean, the A's are going to be favored in like 25 games this year. If like 30 games.
I mean, who's pitching for them that makes people feel confident that they're going to win any game? Like the matchup.
You know
what's
what?
the matchup?
Here's one thing I will say about A's games, though. This is something I saw last year with their games. If you can get if you're say in the 5th, 6th inning and you can get a nice a nice over, call like let's say 3-4 runs, their bullpen is shit. Every single time I would put in a bet, like late in the game, like say you want a team to come back, they're facing the A's. They're usually coming back. They're usually at least getting you the extras. Like they're going to give you at least a little bit of something to fight for. Another thing that's going to be good to see too this season. Again, the A's will win a couple times here or there is plus 300. But say the A's grab an early lead in the game, they're probably not going to win that game. You know, but I'd say up to maybe like 2 runs. Like I'd take a live bet on a team as long as it's around plus 100 up against the A's. The strong athletics,
dude. All right,
2,200 fans.
We've got a lot to get to tonight, so we're not gonna. We're 12 minutes in, and we're talking about the A's for an entire fucking 10 minutes.
We're trying to move us along here.
All right, I gotta keep this thing chop. Listen, put the hammer down. I love all the points though. The A's suck. We get it. Giants. So this is where I'm going to go with my team total. I think the Giants are going under 81.5 wins. I got it at minus 115. I think you could probably find a better price out there, so shop around. But, I mean, what did they do this offseason that really makes them better than they were last year? Conforto, okay, we don't know how he's going to be his first season back from all the time off and the injuries. Manaya, okay, that's an improvement too. But Ross Stripling, like once they missed out on
Chicken strip.
Chicken strip is not going to be – I mean, he's okay. But, like, once they lost out of Correa, their bullpen, I like Camilo Doval out of the pen. They might be decent. That division is so good. I think the D-backs are better now. I got the Giants going under 81.5 wins. Johnny, what do you think about that?
I got them at 79, so it was close. I think they're still going to be around 500, so that's why I won't take that bet. You know, but I do like their bullpen. They have the Rogers brothers in the bullpen.
Yeah.
And reclamation projects are one of their things. I think Sean Manaea is going to have a very good year. He's one of my sleepers in fantasy baseball, especially with a 4.9 ERA last year. I think he's getting undervalued in fantasy baseball. His ADP has fallen, and I think he's one of those guys that's going to bounce back, especially with the velo increase that we've heard about in spring training. But like you said, I think the D-backs are a lot better. The Padres are good. The Dodgers are the Dodgers. That's a tough division. The Giants will be lucky to be 500. Like I said, I have them at 79 wins. So
that makes me feel good. That's a two-win edge right there, I feel like. So hey, I'll take it. Bdon, what you got a team total here?
I'm going Homer Simpson right out the gates, man. It's the gift that keeps on giving for me. It cashed the last day of the season last year. The team got better, and the total only went out 4 games. If you can find the Cubs 77.5 over, do not walk to your closest computer, tablet, app, sportsbook, whatever. I'll take the hat off if you want. Like, no bias aside. This is a team that they added a couple bats. Bellinger, like, you know how Johnny's just talking about a reclamation project, right? Bellinger's on a 1-year fuck you deal, right? Like, he wants to make money. He wants to get his got my swagger back. Like that's what Cody Bellinger came to Chicago to do. You signed Dansby, you bring in Jameson Taillon, and then on top of all that, you add the number 5th starter in Hayden Wesneski at the end of the rotation. I think like the Cubs have. I think that either the first or second best, probably the second best of the Brewers at the top are a little bit better than us, but rotation in the division. And I truly think that, yeah, you play the Reds and Pirates a whole bunch during the year. The Brewers didn't get any better. Like the Brewers.
Well, that's not happening as much this year. That's not happening as much. The playing them a bunch of times because they cut down that schedule from that.
Either way,
but
you still play them like at least 10 times plus each, right? The Brewers are not that good. I guess what I'm getting at is the NL Central as a whole is just like a division. Well, the NL Central and the AL Central probably two worst divisions in baseball. But yeah, I'm rolling with 77.5, 78 wins. I think this team that is a fringe playoff team, and yeah, Cubs in 4. That's where I'm at for my first total.
Cubs in 4. I mean, look, it might be a homer bet, but 76.5 wins to get over that number. I think this team is closer to 500.
77.5. Yeah, you're asking the Cubs to be 500, which I think they.
Well, no, I actually grabbed them. So I laid a little bit of juice. I think
it
was minus 128 at 76.5. Yeah. But all your points, dude. Like I agree with pretty much all your points.
Thompson out of the pen now too. That's my dog.
Yeah, Adbert Alzolay too,
yeah.
Who's healthy, looks good. And you got the pitching is so far underrated. I think even in like we keep bringing up fantasy drafts, right? They have 4 legit guys in the rotation. If you add Wesneski, who last year looked dominant after getting called up, so far in the spring, he earned that 5th starter spot. They sent Adrian Sampson back to AAA, who, by the way, cashed your win total for you, our win total, in the last day of the season last year because he pitched so well down the stretch.
I hate it had to be Samp that had to get sent down, but it is what it is. It's baseball.
Yeah, it is what it is, and he looked awful in the spring, which is just the spring, but the upside is there when you talk about the entire rotation, who now Jameson Taillon's got this slider that he's developing that looks disgusting. Maybe he starts to hit more of his ceiling that everybody thought that he could. Stroman healthy for a full season, maybe that turns the tide a little bit. You got Justin Steele, who looked dominant from June 6th or June 5th to the end of August. Like the improvements on the bats with Dansby and all the guys you mentioned, Mancini. I mean,
you don't have to watch Jason Hayward every day try to swing a baseball bat. Like
but we might have to watch Eric Hosmer though. But that's another issue.
This is a team that's going to win at least 5 more games than they did last year, putting them over this number.
Yeah, I've got them at 84 this year. I know that's a little optimistic, but I think 500 is probably the floor. 500 is the floor, in my opinion. Johnny, any thoughts on the Cubs before you give maybe another total or another bet you got?
Thoughts on the Cubs? I'm not as high on the Cubs as you guys are, obviously. But I have them at 80 wins. I have them at 80. Yes, I'm optimistic on it, but not overly optimistic on the Twins, but we'll get there. But I have the Cubs at 80 wins. I like Taillon. He's got to be healthy. Wesneski, I love his stuff and everything like that, but it's another year. They got book on him. You know what I mean? Like they've seen him now. So let's see what that does. I like Steele. Not crazy about the lineup, honestly. I mean, the lineup just, to me, it's not really that deep, the Cubs lineup. I don't think it's as deep as the Brewers, to be honest with you. I think Yelich is still solid, and I think he has a bounce back year. Rowdy Tellez is a beast at first base. And that's another over-under I'd like to talk about later on is the home runs for him. But they also have Garrett Mitchell, who was good last year. They have up-and-coming players. Corbin Burns has a chip on his shoulder, especially after losing his arbitration case and going public with it.
Well, hear me out.
I think the Brewers are gonna do some damage this year. And
I like their young guys too. I like Sal Frelick. I love
Frelick. I love him. I'm sorry that he didn't make the team. Like, I wish he did, because I had a little sprinkle for the Rookie of the Year for him. But, it is what it is.
What were you going to say, Bdon?
I said, but hear me out. Corbin Burns, visually and audibly does not like the Milwaukee Brewers. What if he just sells the bag all the way up until the trade deadline? He says, fuck this.
No.
No, because he needs his money, dude.
He wants his money, dude. This is Cy Young. This is Cy Young, another Cy Young.
Corbin Burns is Corbin Burns, but he will not be a Milwaukee Brewer after this year.
No, he's going to be a Chicago Cub.
No, I agree. But he's going to be a beast this year. An absolute beast.
I agree, but we can't spend all day talking about this. I'd love to talk just Cubs in that division, but I'll give you a couple plays that I also like for team totals, and then we'll kind of move on, or if you guys have any others real quickly to kind of rattle off. I think the Orioles are much better this year than they have been in years past. I know their pitching staff might not be as great, but I think that lineup is really good. I think they're going over 76.5 wins. The Pirates are still the Pirates. They still suck. Yes, they have Brian Reynolds. They have a couple of pieces. I like Mitch Keller. I like Roansy Contreras. That Bednar is good out of the pen, but like the lineup outside of Brian Reynolds, O'Neal Cruz, those highlight dudes, they've dealt with injuries. Yeah, and Hayes gets hurt a lot too. So I don't think they're winning over 68.5 wins. I got that under. Astros, that division's improved with the Rangers now. The Mariners look good. I think they're going under 95.5 too. No Verlander, like I think they're going under 95.5, and I think the Astros are good, but I think that's a little high. The Reds look terrible in my opinion. Under 65.5 for the Reds.
They're not a serious organization. They don't care about winning.
No, they're not. And the Rays, they won 86 games last year. Their total's at 89.5. Glass now is starting out the year on the shelf. I like them, but I think like we were just saying with the Orioles, I think that team's improved. I think that division's pretty good still, obviously. How are they getting 4 more wins this year? When I know their pitching staff is probably going to be pretty good, but that lineup, what did they really, really do to improve that lineup in the offseason? So under 89.5 for the Rays too. I don't know, any hot takes that I just kind of spewed out or anything you guys disagree with?
I just hope Randy Arozarena doesn't do it to you.
He could.
Randy Arozarena, WAR 4.1.
4.1 and just carries them right over.
Yeah, 91 or 90 wins. Yeah.
I agree with the Orioles. I think they're going to be much better. They won 83 games last year, and they're over 76.5. They didn't get 7 games worse.
Right.
How is that even possible?
With Gunnar
Pirates,
Henderson?
the same thing. Pirates are garbage. 68.5 under. Easy under with them. The Rays always seem to make it work
every year.
That's the thing with them. They always seem to be. That's the thing. And so, like 80, what is it, 88.5 or whatever?
89.5. So
I have them at about 86. I'm not betting that. I have them about 86, 87, 88. Like, I can't.
Do you want to hear my theory about the Rays, boys? I have a theory about the Rays, and I'm a person that has been personally victimized by wagering on the Tampa Bay Rays throughout the season. This is a baseball, tinfoil hat theory. The Tampa Bay Rays make the playoffs every single season without actually ever winning a single game. When you watch ESPN or when you watch baseball tonight, do they ever actually win, though? Do they? They just somehow snap, and we end with 86 wins. You never actually remember when the Tampa Bay Rays win because they never come through.
You know what?
It's true, but they always come through. They always make the playoffs. They always win 88 games, 86, 87, 88. So that's why I can't bet against them.
Yeah.
Johnny,
don't being a jag.
Because all of a sudden,
Johnny,
you look at the calendar.
Don't try to argue with him about this is a Bdon Onomatopoeia. Let me tell you, he's not serious about what he's saying.
Calendar, all of a sudden, it's like, you look at the calendar. It's the end of September. The Rays have 87 wins.
Yes.
What the hell? How the
Magically.
hell did that happens every year?
The
I
Rays have
agree with that.
87 wins. The Yankees haven't won a game in the week. The Blue Jays don't know which way is up. The Red Sox
Yankees
are out of
missing
it.
the playoffs
And
this year.
the Orioles are running it up. You know what I'm saying? That division's going to be fun
Oh,
this
yeah?
year.
Yankees are missing the playoffs this year.
All right, who's all right? Let's move on. Let's move on.
All right, wait, hold on.
That's a hot take, though. That is a hot take, Johnny.
Yeah.
Did you bet that? Did you bet that?
I
Yankees
did.
to miss? Okay, what'd
The
you get
Yankees
it at?
aren't making the playoffs. They're going to finish the game short.
Pitching?
Yeah, pitching, especially in the beginning of the season.
Yeah, they don't have anyone.
They got Cole, Cortez.
Cole's
They
a
got
meat
Clark
baller.
Schmidt, Michael King is going to be pitching. Like, I mean, who's what are they doing?
Yeah.
You fall behind
Cole.
it, and the talent in that division, you fall behind. If the Yankees even finish 500 and they have a 25-game stretch in 26 days through April and May in their schedule, if they even finish at that point through 32 games, 16 and 16, they're going to have to win 80 games to win that division from that point on.
You're taking
no
them
way
under
it's
the
happening.
team total. You're
No
taking
way
them
it's
under the
happening.
team total, too, then, right?
Oh, I take the under. I had 94 and a half. I think the under on the Yankees. Easy.
I don't disagree with you. I find it hard to bet because they can get carried by some of the bats at times, but I don't disagree with
Judge ain't going for 61 this year, though.
No,
No,
Judge
we know
is
that.
hitting 62 again. He may
know
hit
that.
45, but it's
But then you got
there's
Volpe,
no way
though,
the
too.
Yankees are doing that.
You don't know what they're going to do with Volpe, like how good he's going to be, though. That's the issue that I'm running into with, like, projecting him. You know what I mean? Offensively.
Yeah, what's the rest of their infield? What do you have in
Gleyber's
the rest of
still
their infield? You have
Gleyber-
Volpe, a shortstop, who's a rookie, who you don't know what you're going to get. Yeah, Donaldson at third.
Yeah, that's the position right there.
Gleyber Torres, like, what has he done?
Gleyber's
Since
been
his rookie,
solid.
like, yeah, he's
hit
solid,
almost,
but
like 25 home runs last
I think what
year?
he's getting. I think what the point is, though, is like usually the Yankees are a more proven product. There right now, there are a lot of guys with high upside. They're
Right.
banking on these. They're banking on these guys all panning out. And the fact of the matter is,
Right.
the MLB, not all of them are going to pan out.
and what's their outfield look like? All right, you have Judge. Bader's out for 3 months.
It's a question.
Aaron
mark.
Hicks still in the outfield. You might as well bring Brett Gardner back to play left. I mean, what are you doing? Like,
Yankee
and
thumb.
they're gone. 3 of their starters are done for the first month of the season, basically. So you
Yeah,
have
and they
Cole,
spent all that
Cortez,
money on
and a bunch of
Rodon.
fill-ins. I mean, I'm just saying the Yankees are not this juggernaut like they were last year.
No, I agree with you.
So, and I just think they're not making the playoffs. Sorry, they're not winning 90 games.
With that
They're
division,
not making the
man,
playoffs.
I get it.
That's
All right, we got to keep this. We got to keep going.
Yeah, sorry, keep it
Alex, we're cutting. We're driving a knife
Sorry,
right
Alex
now. Alex is
Keeler.
hard. He's listening and watching this, but let's move on to Bdon. You got any rookie of the years or anything like that? You got a rookie of the year?
I have to look at the list. I do have one that I wanted to say though on the topic of teams though, and
okay.
the NL West. So I think this is the year the Dodgers don't win the division. I know it's not like a crazy hot take and there's not a lot of juice to it, but I think the Dodgers got a little bit worse. You lose a couple bats. The Padres, obviously, they gained steam and they added people all over that roster last year. And Soto, you're going to get Tatis back. I think the Padres is the winner of the West. And it's not a lot of juice. It's plus 120. But I think that even if you're getting it plus, I really think it's more close to like the Dodgers minus 110, Padres minus 110. So I think there's a little bit of value there.
Yeah, I could see that. I could absolutely see that.
All right.
I don't think the Dodgers did that much this offseason, but they're relying on kind of like the Yankees prospects.
They were Trey Turner merchants last year, bro. Trey Turner merchants.
Dude, they had a squad.
I'm fucking with you.
Yeah, don't give me that shit. But now they lost Turner, and now they're going to rely on Miguel Vargas and, guys like that, James Outman, and maybe Michael Busch down the road, right? So
Yeah.
I do see where you're going with that.
I know.
Rookie-
Sure. All
yeah,
so
rookie of the year.
I got the Rookie of the Years pulled up, and I think that the hardest part about Rookie of the Year is, Johnny was talking about it earlier. With the rookie, you never really know what you're going to get, right? Last year, when we were rolling into the year and we, as Cub fans, we got Seiya, right? And Seiya started off on fire. Seiya was like plus 325 to win Rookie of the Year, and he didn't even come close. You know what I'm saying? So you got to kind of just look for like a sicko one. You got to look for someone maybe a little bit down the list, maybe someone with a comma next to it. And
give it to me. Give it to me. What are you gonna say? You sick freak.
I'm waiting.
Do you want AL or NL first?
Let's go NL first because I got that written down first. What do you got NL? What's the sick freak beat on Pia play?
All right, so correct me if I'm wrong because I know you're a more baseball guy, but they don't give out like Rookie of the Year for a pitcher, right?
No, they would. Yeah. They're listed.
Well, no. Like I mean, like there's not like it's not like
separate award. No.
Yeah, like you can get it as a pitcher, the regular Rookie of the Year, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Dude, why are we not taking a little sprink and bank on Hayden Wisniewski at plus 3,000?
I love it. I love it.
Every fifth day, he's going to come out and drag his nuts. But a chalk one that I have that I do think is a decent bet, but I just really like. There's not a lot of value in it. It's a plus 400. Is Corbin Carroll?
Okay.
I like those flash electric players, like quick. Make the plays out in the field. He's going to grab 20, 30 bases. You know what I'm saying? They're going to be playing a lot of small ball, putting them in a lot of positions to try and move them along the bags. I don't know. I think Corbin Carroll, one of he's only plus 400 and Wisniewski's plus 3,000. And that's a guy too. He got a lot of experience last year. So,
dude, Wisniewski, I got if you can get him better than that too, 42-1. I saw him at.
Well, okay. I just had DraftKings pulled up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's 4,000 on.
But on the AL side of things, I'm gonna go back to my homeland, and I'm gonna go to the other side of town. And I hate to say it, but I'm going with. I like the flash. I like the zing. I'm going with Oscar Colas. Plus 1,300. Viva Cuba, baby. Viva Cuba. I think Joey froze.
You guys still here?
Yeah, I think so. I like Colas too.
I was staring into Joey's soul. He's like, really, dude? You picked Oscar
really
Colas?
Still for a minute.
Am I here?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Bdon. Why do you like Colas? I like Colas too as a prospect. I don't know about Rookie of the Year though.
I think his bat's going to pop a little bit more than anticipated, and then another guy too that is going to probably swipe 15, 20 bags. He's definitely not going to swipe as much as Corbin Carroll. And then more chalky. I'm going to mess his name up, but he killed it at the World Baseball Classic, and there's a little recency bias in it. But Matsutaka Yoshida, I definitely think I got it right. Did I get that right?
Johnny?
Yoshida, yeah. I like Yoshida.
At plus 500, me and my boys were talking about this one the other day in our just degenerative sports group chat that we have. And I just think that it's going to be a wide open race, but Yoshida and Colas are two value plays. And like I said, I'm looking at Gunnar Henderson. I know that's your guy, Joey, but are you really going to sit here and sweat out a Rookie of the Year at plus 265 all year? That's just not fun. It can't be a lot of fun at parties. I think we lost Joey again.
We lose Joey again? Joey, you there?
He's not. Who do you like on the list for Rookie of the Year?
Well, I like Yoshida. I got him at plus 600 a couple of days ago. So, I threw this little sprinkle on there. But I like Colas as well. I got him at plus 500. 1,500. Sorry. So I like Colas as well. A couple guys I look in the National League is one of the guys that I got a plus 1,200 on DK was Ezekiel Tovar, the shortstop from Colorado. He's starting at shortstop in Colorado. Well, you remember about 6-7 years ago there was a kid named Trevor Story that started at shortstop in Colorado. Yeah, he didn't win Rookie of the Year, but This kid's got more speed. He's just as good of a fielder. Got some pop. Hit 16 home runs last year in the minor leagues. And he's got the starting gig. Granted, he's going to hit ninth in the lineup, but you're in Coors Field. I'm fine with that plus 1,200. You know, the other kid is Garrett Mitchell from the Milwaukee Brewers, because I have the Milwaukee Brewers going pretty far. And he had a taste of the major leagues last year, 68 plate appearances. He had 311 and stole 8 bases in 68 plate appearances last year in his first taste of the major leagues. Still eligible as a rookie, and I think he's going to be a stud. I think the kid's he's going to steal probably 40 bases this year, maybe hit 15 home runs, maybe about 300. And for a playoff team, which I think Milwaukee will be, I think Mitchell is going to get that. And at plus 3,000 on DK, I'll take the starting center fielder from the Brewers.
That's really good value.
So,
yeah,
I'll definitely take that.
I like that. I like those picks a lot. I think the only one that I'm not on, I'm not attacking the top of the board, the favorites. I'm avoiding the NL favorites, Corbin Carroll and Jordan Walker. I think they're both going to be really good. I just don't know if it's this season that they're going to be better than everybody else in the NL. Because like you said, Johnny, there's some guys there like Vargas. I like Tovar. I like Brett Beatty. I think Beatty could. I don't know if did he make the opening day roster?
No.
But he could come up at some point and tear it up. Mitchell, I like Mitchell. Wisniewski is obviously a bet for me.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of some just to throw out some names here as far as like dark horse name. Michael Busch, a 100 to 1. I think that's got some legs maybe if he gets a call up for the Dodgers. And Ryan Pepiot, I think he earned that 5th starter spot for the Dodgers at 55 to 1. I grabbed him at. He's probably a better price somewhere, but 55 to 1. I think that's worth a stab. I think he's really good. AL Rookie of the Year, I just ate the chalk in the AL. I went Gunnar Henderson. I think he's that damn good. Gunnar, got to go with the Gunnar. Showed a little bit last year. He's that damn good, I think. The AL Rookie of the Year, I don't want to – there's too many guys that I feel like towards the top that maybe a little bit heavier, I feel a little bit stronger about than the bottom. So why don't I just take the one that I feel the strongest about, and that's Gunnar.
Mm-hmm.
So MVP, guys. What do you guys think NL MVP? I don't know if we were planning on going here yet, but – might as well, right? What do you guys think for NL or AL MVPs?
Well, I think AL is chalk. It's obvious, but we just watched him put on a show for the last month, and he's going to put on a show for the next 7 or 8 months. And anytime you get a guy that's going to go out there and get 20 wins and hit 30 bombs, 35 bombs, probably going to win MVP. Like I said, Judge is probably going to regress a little bit. And I just don't know who's it's kind of like what we're dealing with in the NBA with Jokic. I don't know who's going to take that MVP out of Shohei's hands.
Johnny?
I had a different take on this because I think there's going to be another player in the AL that does a little 30-30 this year and plays defense at a premium spot, which is Bo Bichette.
Oh, okay.
And I think he's 30-30 this year, hits over 300, 100 runs, 100 ribbies, and wins the Gold Glove at shortstop, which is, as far as WAR goes, is very valuable at that position. So I could see him putting up an 8-9 WAR season and pushing Ohtani. And if Ohtani has – well, if you're at the plate or if you're pitching, I mean, I understand what he does is ridiculous, and it's MVP worthy every year. And the only reason Judge won it last year is because he hit the 62 home runs. I get it. But I just think Bichette is going to be the complete player this year, and I think he's going to edge him out because people are sick of voting for Johnny. And as far as the NL goes, I'm going to go another shortstop, and I'm going to say Trey Turner.
Okay. Yeah.
Without Rhys Hoskins for the whole year, without Harper for basically the first 2 months, Turner's going to be the addition they made. He's another one that's going to go 30-30 and just be a beast and get the Phillies to the playoffs this year.
Dude, he was just mashing so hard in the fucking World Baseball Classic. Literally tearing the fucking wraps off baseballs.
Honestly, he's the best shortstop in baseball.
Yeah.
Is there an argument? Is he the best shortstop in baseball?
Not a good argument.
Really? But yeah,
the only argument is his defense isn't as good as some others, but his offense combined with the defense makes him the best shortstop in baseball, right?
And with the new rules, with the stolen bases, you're telling me he's not stealing 40, 45 bags?
He's stealing 50.
Yeah.
I think he's stealing 50, honestly.
I said he's going 30-30. I think he's going to hit 30 home runs in Philly.
All right, so I'll give you my list here. I don't know, Bdon, I don't know if you gave us a NL, but
I'll give an NL for you, yeah.
So who's your NL guy, real quick, Bdon?
Just looking at the list, and it kind of goes with what I said earlier on my division one, but a comeback season for Mr. Tatis Jr.
Okay, I could see it.
That's plus 1,000. It's kind of like middle of the pack guy.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything to really argue about his talent.
Because I think like one thing that we've talked about this whole time is how prominent the base stealing is going to be this year. That's another guy probably going to grab 20, 30 bags. He's going to be looking to prove something, right? Because this is a guy that got suspended for the PEDs with whatever happened. It happened. It's over. He's back now. This is their season to go and take that division and try to, because they won a couple series in the playoffs. They won a series last year in the playoffs. Like, they made it all the way to the NLCS. I think this is the year where they can try to challenge for that division, and I think Tatis is the guy that brings them there.
Yeah, I could see it. For my NL guy, I have 4 that I'm like interested in, or 3. One was Trey Turner that Johnny mentioned, 11-1. Austin Riley, 16-1. I think he could be a big reason why the Braves, if they go deep. I think O'Reilly's in for a big season this year. Pete Alonso, 16-1. I mean, the Mets are going to be good. Yeah, a little sprinkle. Like if Pete's out there bombing away and carrying that team, middle of the order, I could see him being up there. And then I went Long Bomb City. Let's go with a comeback player of the year potentially. 150-1. How about former MVP himself, Chris Bryant? And look, I know
it's a hitter-friendly ballpark.
That's what I'm saying, and he's from there.
Maybe not hitter-friendly, but then the weather helps. Yeah.
All right.
Look, he's from out there. He wants to play out there. He got hurt. We understand he has some injury issues. If he can just stay healthy and just bomb away like he was hitting the ball in spring training from what it looked like. I don't know what his final stat sheet ended out in spring training, but he looked like he was smacking the ball. And Coors Field, you guys mentioned it. It's literally a hitter's paradise. And the average could be even improved. We know he's got the on-base skills. He can power it up. Yeah. Healthy Chris Bryant, we'll see. Maybe he hits 40 bombs this season. I don't know. AL side, I went kind of chalk. I went Ohtani, and then I went long shot with Gunnar Henderson, 150-1. Just a little
we're changing your name.
You love that Gunnar Henderson, man.
I do. I love Gunnar Henderson. I think him and Adley Rutschman, that team is – I'm telling you, that lineup is –
that's why I took the over.
Scary.
Give me the over on the Orioles.
That lineup is legitimately scary. I'll give you guys a little fun one. I don't know if you guys have a most home runs guy. I took most home runs. I took Cody Bellinger, 100-1.
Wow. You're sick fuck.
Look, this guy. 47 homers in 2019. I know it was a while ago. I know he has not been the same Cody Bellinger. He had a broken swing. His lower half was all fucked up. His swing was just messed up.
If you're going to take the chance, I get it.
$5?
I'm going to pull it up right now.
Just $5. $5 sprinkle. A tackle box.
Same thing, man. You want me to tell you the guys that I threw $2-3 on?
Yeah.
It's funny. I hear you.
Let's hear it, Johnny. I mean, look, a taco box at Taco Bell costs $5. So,
Yeah.
I mean, hey, I'm gonna say maybe the Cubs. He's motivated, obviously. Bdon brought up that point. Chris Bryant, 200-1. That was my other most home runs guy. Johnny, who you got for most home runs this year?
I got a few. I sprinkled some. I threw some on Schwarber.
Okay,
You
yeah.
know, plus 1,000. I threw some on Riley. I like Austin Riley. And my bold prediction on the Potapalooza that I did for the TGFBI was that Riley's going to hit 50 this year.
Oh,
So that was one of my bold predictions. You know, and I threw a little on Rowdy Tellez. As you can tell, I like the Brewers this year. I think they have a solid team. I threw a little on Max Muncy because I think he's going to bounce back for the Dodgers this year. Whether he, but he's plus 20,000. So, I mean,
he's got power, though.
Yeah. And the last guy I threw money on was plus 30,000, Nathaniel Lowe.
Oh, yeah. I love that.
Hey, he's 27 last year. The dude hit 280. I mean, he can hit. Whether he's going to – but, you never know a guy breaks out, hits 40, and other guys get injured. And you got to remember, 2 years ago, Sal Perez hit 48 home runs and was tied for the league lead with Vlad Guerrero.
Yeah, it could happen.
So you never know who's going to be hitting these home runs.
And he's got serious pop, man. I love the Nate Lowe pick, actually. You need to tell me where you found that at, because I'm going to either tail you or I'm going to
MGM.
Yeah, bet MGM, yeah. Up to plus 30,000.
They got Trey Turner down there and a Rosarena at plus 30,000 too.
Yeah, I was like, I'm throwing $2 on this to win 600.
Adames is down there. Cedric Mullins is down there.
Yeah, but some of these guys are like they're low ceiling, high floor homer hitters. Not necessarily the one you're talking about, not Nate Lowe, but like Trey Turner's not going to hit.
Stood out to me. Like down at that bottom, Lowe stood out to me. Just because he plays in a warm weather in Texas. Like I said, he hit 27 home runs last year, hit 280. If this dude blasts another 10 and hits 37 to 40,
yeah,
Judge gets hurt. Whatever. Like, you never know what happens. Like I said 2 years ago, Sal Perez hit 48, never hit 30 in his life. So, you never know.
No, I'm with you. I think it's very random that way. Home runs. Same goes for like strikeouts. How many guys are going to get innings and stuff like that? Right. Do you guys have any like most whatever type of bets, like different side of bets, or I don't know, Bdon, did you have a most home runs guy or any strikeouts, anything like that? Leaders?
I hadn't looked at the list, but just looking at it, and Johnny will like this, if you can get a healthy season out of Buxton, you can get 162 out of Buxton, why not him? He's got some real pop in his bat.
That guy is Mike Trout.
That's the whole key.
Yeah. Are you going to get a full season from him? Probably not.
That's the problem.
He's Mike Trout when he's healthy, though, I think.
Also in the plus 4,000 range, I like Julio Rodriguez. I think he's going to have to carry a lot for the Mariners this year.
Yeah.
Going to be a little bit more of a target on that team's back, but I think he's a guy that likes those high-pressure moments. And then like a super long shot, plus 8,000. Joey Meneses, baby.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just real
I was looking at that. Yeah.
That's only too big for me. I like Meneses, the meniscus tear, Joey.
Yeah.
That's too sick for me. I'm not going to lie. It's a little too sick for me. You got a Cy Young? Anybody got an NL Cy Young? They're waiting to just pounce on.
This is heart, not head. It's the pride and joy of Lucedale, Mississippi, man. It's Justin Steele. It's plus 10,000. It's a guy that's going to go pee hole to bee hole 9 fucking times a game. 9 times a game. Okay? It's going to strike out your best player and stare into their soul as they walk back to the dugout. And I know he's not our number one guy, but
he could be. He could wind up.
Could be by the end of the season. He's going to finish the season with 15-plus wins and an ERA that's 3, if not less. So he should be in the conversation.
I mean, people need to realize what he did from June 5th up until he got hurt.
He was shoving his nuts, bro. Like, he was going insane.
He was in an elite tier among pitchers, like top 10 for almost every type of statistical, even advanced categories. I wrote about it at On Tap Sports. Budding ace is pretty much what I kind of called him. That slider is disgusting. We talk about Hayden Wesneski's slider. Legitimately, he has a nasty slider of his own from the left side, that fastball pounding it inside to righties.
And he's just got a little swagger to him. I think it goes a long way to just have your routine down, have a little bit of swagger to you, and to just know what you're going to do every fifth day, and to go out and execute every time you go out.
Yeah, 200 to 1, man. Why not? Why not us? Why not us? We're nice people. Bdon, we're nice people.
We are good people.
AL Cy Young, or Johnny, you got an NL Cy Young? I kind of avoided the favorites. I guess I avoided the favorites because I don't. Pitching is random to me, really random. So I wanted to go.
That's why I tried to avoid the pitching. I picked a little over unders for wins and stuff like that, but I didn't go into the Cy Young stuff. But Wesnesi's interesting. I still like Corbin Burns. I think he's going to just be ridiculous this year because of the arbitration shit and like what happened with him and the Brewers, and this is his last year. He's just going to go out and just be an absolute monster. So I would take Corbin Burns. I know he's the favorite or one of the favorites in the National League, but I would go with him. In the American League, I mean, Cy Young, I like Reed Detmers.
Ooh,
I've been on this guy.
Wow. That's
since
nasty.
I wrote about him, his scouting report. I wrote about him a few years ago in his scouting, and I compared him to Clayton Kershaw.
I remember that.
He is my guy. Reed Detmers is added a few miles an hour on his fastball, his slider, his curve. This dude is nasty. And if the Angels actually make the playoffs this year, Reed Detmers will be the reason.
I love it. I bet that too. That's why I was shaking your hand. 200 to 1 Reed Detmers. I don't know what you got.
Oh, yeah. I love it.
Why not?
Love Detmers. Dude's a beast. He's just a beast.
I remember those comparisons too. Yeah, you mentioned the fastball ticking up. The stuff is wicked. He has a no-hitter. I mean, he's only getting better. I mean, Joe, and I'll give you another one that I know you're going to love. Joe Ryan, 100 to 1.
There we go.
Joe Ryan.
I like Ryan.
What did he have? He put that slider on this offseason. It seems like his slider's looking really good. He's got
he added a slider. Yeah, I think he added a cutter too.
Was it a cutter?
Okay. He was working. I think he was working on a couple different things. Yeah, he's got the talent.
Yeah,
the arm talent.
That fastball is like really deceptive too. I think if he racks up the innings, I mean, which I think that's what he's really going to do. I love Joe Ryan this year at 100 to 1. Why not?
It's going to be a huge. That's the thing with the Twins is their pitching staff is going to be a huge thing. Mm-hmm. You know, Maeda's got to bounce back. Sonny Gray in his contract year has to pitch well. You know, Ryan's got to be an ace. It's what we need. You know, it's what the Twins need. If the starting staff is, because they have one of the premier closers in the game, Johan Duran.
Oh,
that dude is absolutely filthy.
Dude, Duran
is going to be. He's filthy. He makes Emmanuel Clace like he puts up numbers like he's going to put up numbers like him.
You could be right. Is he? So is he? Did they announce him as the closer? Because I've been drafting him late.
He'll be the closer. He'll be the closer. I have no doubt in my mind.
He should be.
They haven't said, you know what I mean, but there's no doubt. He's the best pitcher in that bullpen by far.
Well, that's what makes me concerned, though, is when they start playing the high leverage best pitcher and the high leverage instead roles.
Right.
But I do think he should be the closer. Like, I love Duran. I think he's so good, man. Yeah. So I have a weird one here. Yu Darvish to record his 2000th strikeout this season. I laid a little bit of juice. I'm saying no. It's minus 175 on DraftKings. He's made 30 starts each of the last 2 seasons and come up just shy of 200 Ks. He needs 212 Ks to reach 2,000. He's only done that 3 times in his career. Nowadays, the innings restrictions, the pitch counts, if he misses a start or two, I mean, it's heavy juice, minus 175, but I'm going to do it. I think minus 175 is worth it for this type of bet because I feel pretty confident that he won't get 2,000 strikeouts.
So he'd have to get, what, 213?
He'd have to get 212 to reach 2,000 this season. And he had like 199 last season or 197, something like that, the last 2 years. With 30 starts. And I mean, it's not like he hasn't dealt with injuries in his career at all. He's been pretty durable as of late, but I just think that's a lot of strikeouts to ask for in an era where you're not really pitching your pitchers all that deep, and they're really going to need him in the postseason. So why would they overdo him during the regular season? You know what I mean? I feel like they should be a team that's going to make the postseason. So, yeah, I don't see him getting the 2,000 strikeouts. Sorry, you. Love you, Darvish, though.
Love you.
Yeah.
Love you.
Yeah.
We
I
love
agree with
you.
that.
Any weird? Where else do you guys want to go? I eventually I want to go to World Series, and I got a couple guys teams to make the playoffs. But what do you guys? Where do you guys want to go from here? Johnny, I'll start.
I got one weird one for you, and I actually bet it. Verlander or Scherzer to finish 10th all time this year in strikeouts.
Oh, either one.
Now,
either.
Yeah, well, it's a bet Verlander against Scherzer. Verlander is ahead by 5 right now. He's 174 away from passing Greg Maddux on 10th all time. So I bet on Verlander to finish ahead and finish in the top 10 all time, and to finish ahead of Scherzer. Just an odd bet, like we're talking about,
No,
so he's already ahead by 5. He struck out more than Scherzer did last year, and he needs 174 to get to pass Greg Maddux for 10th all time. He had 185 last year in 175 innings. So
you're basically saying
let's roll with it.
You're basically saying he's going to pitch 165 innings this year, which I think he probably is.
I think so. Verlander's pitched the whole season. I mean,
yeah,
I don't see him getting hurt. Yeah, obviously injuries, whatever. But
no, I like it.
To 175 last year.
Yeah, I like it.
And he's already 5 ahead of Scherzer. And Scherzer had the back issue last year. He only pitched 166. So,
Do you think there'll be any issues? You think there will be any issues with new team type of stuff with Verlander? I don't know. He's a veteran. I mean,
he's a veteran, man. He went from Detroit to Houston and had no issues. I don't see him as usually. Yes, I worry about guys changing leagues and stuff like that, but I don't think it's going to affect Verlander.
Yeah, he's pretty damn good. Obviously. Bdon, any weird bets you got? Wacky, off the radar, or just something we haven't touched on yet? Mute?
I don't have any weirdo ones loaded up in the chamber now.
What? Who are you?
Yeah, I don't. I am focused on the grind of 162 and my Cubs getting back to the playoffs. And that's, if you want to call it a weird one, I have that one to pair with the win total, with the Cubs to make the playoffs at plus 310.
Yes,
but
sir.
I don't have any super value weird ones.
All right. Well,
I have a whole unit on that one.
I like it. To make the playoffs, I'm with you with the Cubs. A wild card sneak in. And who knows? Maybe the division just has injuries to it. I don't know.
No, that would be a weird one if I had that one. But just to make the playoffs with the expanded
yeah.
Playoff seedings, I think they have a chance. So
Cubs plus 360, Orioles plus 370 to make the playoffs.
That's another good one
for me. Johnny, you got anybody to make the playoffs that you feel really convicted on? Well, you have the Yankees to miss. That's probably
I wonder what that is. Yeah, I'm curious to see what that is.
I have the Yankees to miss because I have the Blue Jays, Guardians, and Astros to win the divisions. And I actually have the Rays, Twins, and Mariners as the wild cards. So I have the Yankees to miss it by a game.
Rays, Twins, and Mariners. You don't have the Orioles in the playoffs?
No.
Oh, Johnny.
No, I haven't missing out. I haven't missing out by a couple games. I have been 84 wins.
Okay.
One win better than last year. I just don't like their pitching. I think their pitching is complete garbage. Until Grayson Rodriguez pitches the whole season, DL Hall actually does something, and they actually add like a free agent or two. Their pitching is absolute garbage. Kyle Gibson starting your opening day. Come on.
Yeah.
I like their lineup and all. I love their outfield.
Hard to get out for Kyle Gibson.
But really, their pitching is not that good. I just don't think they're going to handle it.
No, here's my logic behind it. So I agree with you. I think their pitching staff is very underwhelming, and I don't trust Grayson Rodriguez. I don't trust DL Hall until I see it. To be honest with you, I know that
Means is out.
Top prospects or whatever, but I just don't trust it. I think. So here's my logic behind it. If they are playing well in the first half, well enough where they're in contention, they have not really wanted to spend the money yet. And maybe that's because they want to extend some of their homegrown guys. And then I would love that. They're also small market. We know that. But I think they have so much depth within their farm system that if they are kind of contending this season, they might trade for some pitching. And if that's the case, if they trade for one or two starters, all of a sudden I feel a little bit better because I think their pitching development side of things with like what they've done, Dean Kramer and Bradish, guys like that, I think that their development has been pretty solid on that standpoint where you might get serviceable enough. Maybe you just go out and get your ace type guy at the deadline or something.
I don't think they see it as this year being their year. So I don't think they make that move, especially if you're talking a rental, like a Corbin Burns or a Brandon Woodruff or someone like that who's just going to be there for this year. If they're going to make a move, like the Toronto Blue Jays did a couple of years ago for like Jose Barrios, and so they have him for another year, that I can see. I don't know how many pitchers are out there that fit that profile. I just don't think the Orioles are going to feel at that point that it's worth it because I don't think they think this is their year. I think they're ahead of schedule with their rebuild, but I still think they look at their team as one more year out. And I think that's why maybe they will spend the money this offseason on free agent pitching. I just don't think they're going to trade for, they're not going to give up Westerberg or like what's his name, Herstad, or like guys like that.
Cowser. I wouldn't get rid of Cowser.
Yeah, Colton Cowser. But they're not going to give up those guys for Corbin Burns for half a season just to try to make the playoffs. And maybe you know what I mean? I think there's too many questions there. I just don't see it. But
I think it depends though too on like who you feel is movable, right? So like there's guys that are really high on Joey Ortiz, for example, like top 100. I've seen him on, I think it was Kylie McDaniel's top 100 or just outside of it. So like if you think that he's really valuable, now you don't need really a third base shortstop type, in my opinion, yet. You have Jackson Holliday still in your system. If you can move a Joey Ortiz, then, I agree, though, with your main point. Like, don't trade for – unless he's, like, controllable. If you got a controllable guy out there that you can trade for,
right,
then maybe that's a different story, Like a 1 year rental, though, that is tough to see. I think, like, Corbin Burns, they would have to be, like – they'd have to be leading their division at the trade deadline, you think, right? Like –
well, if they're leading the AL East, then maybe a trade for Corbin Burns and be like, all right, let's put us in, then you have a bye. And then you're rocking and rolling, but
that's Gunnar Henderson. That's Gunnar Henderson MVP season, and that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, and Adley Rutschman, and everyone's like just absolute beasts. The whole outfield. Cedric Mullins is 30-30 again. Santander's hitting 30 home runs. Like Austin Hayes. I just don't see it all working out like that.
Right.
Like I said, the rest of their pitching staff, it's not that good. So I don't think one guy is going to make that much of a difference. Like I said, I think they need one more year for the DL Hall, Grayson Rodriguez, guys like that, Kyle Bradish to make it step forward. Tyler Wells, who they have in the bullpen last year, guys like that. They need to see what they're going to do. And see how they add pieces, kind of like Toronto did. With Manoah, But then they traded for Barrios. They brought in Gaussman as a free agent. They brought in Ryu a few years ago. They brought in Kikuchi. They're bringing these guys in because they know that the lineup and a guy like Manoah, who can anchor that staff, is pushing forward. I think Baltimore waits one more year for that to happen.
Honestly,
progression.
It pisses me off, though, now that we think about it. And I don't want to stick on the subject for too long, but it pisses me off because if we can see that their guys are pretty close, though, to ready, like you got these guys coming up now, and you got guys that aren't far behind, like Connor Norby and some of these other guys. Why wouldn't you go out and sign a better pitcher? What, like just one? Get one anchor. One anchor.
Yeah.
I don't get that. That's like the one thing that's holding them back, and we all know it. And in my opinion, like if you think that they're a breakout from Rutschman, or you think, Gunnar Henderson's close to taking off at least, and you got the other pieces around there, why wouldn't you get one this year and then kind of spend more money next offseason? I don't know. It just
let's see where it goes.
Gibson doesn't make sense to me as far as that being their big spending. But with that said, though, we are just a little over an hour. This has been great conversation, baseball talk, betting talk. What do you guys think as far as we'll one pick for tomorrow, but who's like your World Series team or World Series, maybe even matchup? Like who are you guys betting on to win the World Series this year, if anybody?
You want to go?
So, like I said earlier, I'm a little higher on one specific team out west than a lot of other people. But I think if there's a team that makes it out of the NL this year, it's the Padres. I think the Braves are also another team that has a good opportunity to go to the World Series. But out of the AL, I really don't know. Like, I can't honestly. It's like I don't have any money on anyone from the AL, but I think it's a little bit of a tougher route. Obviously, the Astros are the team that has to be beat, but maybe it's not their year this year. But I'm not sold one way or another. I don't have my money on anyone from the AL.
Johnny?
Well, I got some interesting teams, and I just wrote up. I don't know if it went up yet on Third Down Thursdays. My predictions for all the Cy Young and all that stuff, but my prediction is I think the Blue Jays do it in the AL. I think it's their year. And they're the team that's going to make that move at the trading deadline. Not the Orioles. It's going to be the Blue Jays because they need one more starter. They need an extra guy. And that's going to put them over the top. As far as the National Leagues go, I'm huge into the Brewers this year, man.
Wow.
I honestly think the Brewers are a really good team. And I think people are selling them way short. Way short.
Because of the pitching, right? Mostly. Like the
Yeah,
lineup is still
what has
unproven
changed?
too, though, right? Like you still have
What's
those young
changed
guys.
in their line? Like what's changed on their team? They were one game out of a playoff spot last year. They won 86 games. They finished one game beyond the Phillies. And the Phillies, who were the last wild card spot, made it to the World Series. What's changed for the Brewers? They have Garrett Mitchell, who I think is going to be Rookie of the Year for a whole season. They have Corbin Burns on his contract year. You know the dude's going to play. I could see Yelich resurgence. Granted, not back to his MVP years, but I'm just saying, Rowdy Tellez hit 35 home runs. Like they just on Luke Voigt, they brought him over. They got rid of dead weight, Keston Hiura. Like they got rid of him. He's garbage. Willie Adams for the whole season at shortstop. William Contreras behind the plate. Certainly an upgrade from Omar Narvaez. I mean, I don't see what has changed really. And they won 86 games last year. Like I don't see what's different. I just think you're a better team. Go ahead, sorry.
I really no, you're good. I think a Winker bounce back I could really see in that ballpark too.
Another guy.
So the Winker,
like waiting in the wings.
Yeah, exactly. Which kind of makes me. They actually, if you think about it, Bdon, I don't know if we've had this conversation, and I don't even know if we've had this conversation at Cubs on Tap, but I'm going to say it now, and I'll talk about it later on another show. I think they kind of resemble a lot of what the Cubs are from a farm system standpoint, as far as being very outfield heavy depth wise, prospects in the wings and the waiting with the outfield, because you got with the Cubs, PCA, Brendan Davis, Kevin Alcantara, Alexander Canario, like those are the top hitting prospects for the most part. You can rank them, figure out your rankings. Owen Casey, you got the Brewers, you got Sal Frelick, you have Garrett Mitchell, you have what's his name? I'm forgetting the name right now.
They haven't,
there's two other guys that I'm missing though.
I'm still trying to remember the name too. They have a young Spanish kid.
Joey Weimer.
But they have a young Spanish kid too that's like really good.
Jackson Chourio.
There's another guy. I can't remember his name either.
Is it Terang?
No, he actually made the opening day roster. Terang, he's another one. So you got him playing second base, shortstop. I mean,
I'm worried about him now the more I think about it, though, I am worried about, because we've been underselling it at Cubs on Tap, and I want to say, like, maybe for the first time on a microphone, even though I was saying it in, like, our call. We had, like, a Cubs on Tap call recently, and I said, they're a little bit better than I think people are giving them credit for. I want to say, I think that the NL Central this season. Whether the Cubs are that third place team, maybe that's the case. But I cannot wait to boo the ever living shit out of Christian Yelich in the left field bleachers tomorrow, and that will absolutely be happening. I'm hoping for another opening day W for the Cubs. Repeat results. Why not? It's not Hendricks taking the bump; it's Stroman, but why not? We'll get a little repeat action from last season.
Stroman's going to be a little bit angry because of the way his last outing went, too.
Oh, Stroh's lit up. He's ready to go. Stroh is ready to go. The Stroh show. So, and Ron's texting me right now. He's like, "You coming at 10? We're ready to start cracking the beers 10 a.m. at Murphy's tomorrow. If you're listening to this, I'm going to be in the Wrigleyville area. Go join us. Just join us tomorrow. If you can, you don't have to work, and just skip work if you do have to work. What does it matter?
So
Johnny, it's opening day. It's national holiday time. Any absurd shit that you guys want to get off your chest before, or actually tomorrow? Any predictions tomorrow for tomorrow's games? You have a bet. Bdon, I think you have a bet. What are you looking at tomorrow?
This goes without being said, but it's opening day. Troughs are open. You can piss into an open bucket. The bars in Wrigleyville are going to be going absolutely bananas.
We might tear them down.
The weather's going to suck. You got two studs on the bump. It's going to be a low-scoring game. Cubs fans, you have to be the 10th man tomorrow and help bring home the dub. It's going to be like a 3-2, a 4-3. It's going to be a real tight affair. I know Johnny's been talking a lot about Corbin Burns. I'm not as high on Corbin Burns. And I think that if you can get to him early, he's a mental fucking midget. He crumbles under pressure, in my eyes. But it's also from a lifelong Cubs fan talking about someone on my arch nemesis, so a little bit more bias coming out there. But I do think the Cubs have enough to get it across the line. Tomorrow also, I'll post like a full card in the morning before I go to work, but there'll be some nerfies in there. There'll be some strikeout props probably. There will probably be some maybe like a total bases or something like that. Like, I get real creative when it comes to baseball season, when it comes to the day-to-day. I like to, there's fun in betting money lines and run lines. I don't really like run lines unless I'm the one getting the run and a half as opposed to the one having to win by 2. But I just like to find value on the board where I see fit. And when I get more player props and stuff available, I'll release a full card for tomorrow.
Love it. Love it. I cannot wait to see the daily day-to-day grind. Beat on strikeout props are always
It's 162. We're just trying to profit at least, let's say 84 of those days.
Yeah, man. Well, I mean, we were hitting those profit. We were taking it straight to the bank with Justin Steele and those strikeouts. So
yeah, one thing, a couple things about this season that I'm looking forward to and that I'm sad about. Keegan Thompson's strikeout bets will not be available as he's been moved to the bullpen. Keegan Thompson paid my rent last summer. It was just Keegan Thompson is pitching, auto bet his regular line, and then auto bet like a half unit on each of those lines all the way up. And then I think with, I'm the nerfy guy. I like to bet nerfies. Like, I'm not someone that's going to say like that should be the basis of your baseball betting, but in certain situations and games so this is like my nerfy model. The game has a total of about 8.5, 9 runs, right? Because if it's not 8.5, 9 runs on the full game total, the no runs first inning is going to be like minus 150, minus 160. I'm only really looking for a nerfy that is max like minus 125. Other than that, all it takes is one crack of the bat to be on the wrong side of it. But I will say, if there is a day to hit them, it is opening day. Now that I say that, there will be a run in every game of tomorrow, or in every first inning of tomorrow's games. But they are a fun, quick little hitter that I do like to participate. But another thing that Joey and I do like to do a lot throughout the season is first fives. First 5 total runs or first 5 run lines. But the first 5 total runs, say you have a really good starting pitching matchup, you don't really trust the bullpens as much, and you like the under, you're leaning towards the under. First 5 under is not a bad shot in those situations.
I could not agree more with that. That's great gambling advice. Outside of your nerfy shit, I understand your model though. I like the model, and you hit your credit. You hit them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to be betting them every day. It's not like an everyday thing, but when I see a nice little 10, 15-minute assignment, all you need is 6 simple outs, I'll sprinkle always.
What were you joking about earlier about how quick those nerfies are going to go this season with the pitch
clock? Yeah, with the pitch clock, dude. It's going to be like betting on a UFC fight, but even quicker. It's like, dude, there'd be a nerfies that you'd bet, and it'd be like 35 minutes. And you're like, how have I not lost yet? Like, just let me lose. Just let me lose because this is, like, aggravating. Like, 15 minutes, you're in, you're out. You enjoy the rest of the game. Or you're mad that you lost.
Bases loaded, 2 outs, and you have somebody up at the plate. They come up with a 2-out clutch RBI knock and just jam it up your shitter.
On the reverse end of that spectrum, this is always like a half unit or less bet. But I also do like in situations like, say you're going up against like a Patrick Corbin, a first inning money line.
Yeah, the first inning money lines are not. Look at those.
The Cubs were one of those teams last year that scored a lot of runs in the first inning. There are certain teams that at the top of their order at the beginning of games, especially against weaker opponents, will put a run or 2 up on the board. The Dodgers were a good team for it last year. I don't know if they'll be as good. The Phillies, I know, have been a good team for first inning money lines, but that's like, again, Bet those responsibly, smaller unit sizes, and those are just like fun bets, you know.
Yeah, I definitely.
Those are my sicko bets.
Well, there's sickos, but like you really do find some decent value when you have the 3-line, the 3 options available, whether it's a tie or whether it's each side of the money line. That's where you really get some nice value if you are sick enough to bet that. But like Bdon said, he is sick enough to bet that, and just little sprinkles. Like you lower the unit size, and maybe you can come out a little bit pretty profitable throughout the season if you hit on the right ones. Johnny, tomorrow's games, do you got anything for us?
I don't have anything in particular, but just overall, what I've always known from betting baseball for the past basically 30 years is that bet the underdogs in the beginning of the season and the favorites after the All-Star break. As far as teams go, there are always teams that are going to be better than you think in the beginning of the year, and the favorites will struggle. But at the end of the year, the teams who are supposed to make the playoffs generally do. So take the Orioles, even take the A's and the Pirates and the Reds and teams like that. When those betting lines are favorable, plus 250, stuff like that, take it and run with it.
Wow, Johnny just said to bet Kyle Muller against Shohei Ohtani on the money line.
Rock and roll.
Let's go.
Hey,
I get it.
Where are the Angels? Where have they been? How's that playoff run going?
Yeah, it's going great. First game of the season. I think anything can happen.
They're frauds. The Angels are frauds.
How about who are the Reds playing?
Reds have. I'll look real fast. The Reds have.
I don't know if they play tomorrow.
No.
Everyone plays tomorrow.
Everyone plays. Yeah. They have Pirates. They're minus 145 at home. Hunter Green versus Mitch Keller. I think I probably
Mitch Keller.
Yeah, dude, I like Mitch Keller, so why not?
Yeah. Oh, Hunter Green, he throws hard.
Right.
He's a rat.
Does the Reds lineup really scare anybody? I mean, you know, that's what I'm saying. Like, you take underdogs. Granted, those are the 2 bottom feeders of the NL Central, but I'm just saying, opening series this tomorrow and Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Like all these games, take a couple underdogs, man.
Kyle
Gibson, way to go, because these teams are going to surprise you. Someone's going to come out winning 2 out of 3 this weekend, and you're going to be like, holy shit, how did that team lose to that team? It always happens.
What Johnny is saying is to bet the Cubs underdog money line tomorrow, even though he's been gloating and praising Corbin Burns this entire podcast.
If the Cubs are underdogs tomorrow, yes, bet them against Corbin Burns. And you know what? I'll tell you what. Bet the money line for them to score a run off Corbin Burns right off the bat.
First inning.
Now you're talking a language.
Nico's hitting a homer.
Corny homer.
First person up. Leadoff homer.
There you go.
You go, we Nico. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I mean, if you're looking at really like the underdogs tomorrow, there's not a whole lot of home underdogs.
Everything's pretty tight, dude. All the lines are pretty tight for tomorrow.
You got Patrick Corbin, who's an underdog, plus 200. You got the Cubs, Stroman, plus 115. You've got, let's see here. I'm looking down the list.
The Giants are plus 145 against the Garrett Cole.
Are they home?
They're away.
So these are
Yankee Stadium.
Just the home games only right now. Sandy Alcantara plus 105 is home money line against Scherzer and the Mets. You've got
take the Marlins all day.
Yeah, it's Alcantara.
I would take that all day.
Plus 100, I guess you can find plus money on the Cardinals, like Mikolas against Manoah, but I don't really like that. But Greinke plus 125 for the Royals against Pablo Lopez and your Twins. I know you're not going to bet it.
I'd like to see how the Twins do against Greinke. I think they hit him pretty well, so I don't know if I take that underdog bet, even though I'm a Twins fan. I'm just saying,
Right.
Lopez is new to the Royals because he came over from the Marlins, so I don't know. I think he shut them down, but
And then the last one here, plus 185, the Oakland Trash Athletics, Kyle Muller against Shohei, the international giant.
World Baseball Classic hangover.
I mean, the dude struck out Mike Trout and Mad Dog Russo. You can go fuck yourself.
I'm taking the A's.
You're taking the A? All right.
I'm throwing money on the A's tomorrow because you know what? Because I think Kyle Muller, as much shit as he's gotten for being an open day starter, he actually keeps the game close, and the A's come through at the end.
That's
all right.
insane.
Against the Angels bullpen.
There's absolutely no shot, though. There's no shot that Kyle Muller should have gotten more shit for being an opening day starter than Patrick Corbin.
Well, I know. Well,
Patrick Corbin.
Like, who bets that? Patrick Corbin is. I'm better than he is.
I have one more bet. I have one more bet because this just got me fired up. First of all, Cubs money line, absolutely.
Cubs money line.
Take the under tomorrow for the game total. Under
7.5.
Love the beat-on plays there. Fewest wins, regular season wins. Here we go. The odds-on favorites. The Nationals are plus 260. The A's are plus 270. But here we go. I like the Pirates. 13-1. Might be better value out there, obviously. The Pirates are kind of a crapshoot to me, I think, with Mitch Keller, Roansy Contreras. Did I already mention this as a? I think I took their team total under, right?
Yeah, you said they took.
Yeah. I'd take the Pirates under too.
I think the fewest wins though is a possibility with if they have any injuries at all. Like, they might have one of the most exciting players in the league and in the division with O'Neal Cruz, especially with Christopher Morel down at AAA now for the Cubs. I think the rest of the lineup is just pretty mediocre. Honestly, you're going to need those outlier next step type of performances in the
Brian
rotation.
Brian Reynolds 8-base game with 3 RBIs, like shit like that.
Yeah, you're going to need that like almost every other night for them to be, because I just don't trust that. I really just don't trust the lineup. I mean, maybe that's a hot take that they're going to be the worst team in baseball, but I think at 13-1, like why are they 13-1? I just don't.
What's the Rockies?
The Rockies are probably What are the Rockies? I'm going to look that up.
I'd take the Rockies. They're pretty bad.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be going anywhere either.
They have nothing. And that West Division, I mean, even if the Giants, like I have them finishing in 4th place around 500, that division is brutal. I know they don't play the division as much, but
the Rockies are around plus 500, so 5-1. I mean, that's reasonable. 7-1 is the Reds. The Reds could be in there, that discussion.
I think the Pirates are worse than the Reds.
I think they're worse than the Reds, too.
I think the Reds actually have some promise in their rotation with Green, Lodolo, and Ashcraft.
Mm-hmm.
I think they can actually, the Reds actually have a shot at winning like 70 games.
Yeah, I agree. All right, boys, this has been an absolute blast. I hope you both enjoy opening day as much as I will. I appreciate you, Johnny. We both appreciate you for jumping on here from your, from your Aladdin magic carpet.
Yeah, I love it, right?
It's awesome. Bdon, always a pleasure. You guys have any final thoughts, Johnny? I'll start with you.
No, not that much, man. Thanks for having me on. Check out the Scorecrow.com all year for DFS and betting insight or whatever. And I'm hoping to be on again, man. Have me on this year.
We'll definitely have you on again. That's for sure. Like I said, we definitely appreciate you. Follow Johnny at jball0202 on Twitter. Bdon, he's at Bdon300. Bdon, what do you got for us before you log us off?
We're gonna go on a run tomorrow. Just put your seatbelts on, 10 toes in the sand, from the first pitch until the end of the Oakland Athletics Angels game when we're all cashing in Oakland Athletics money line ticket. Shit's going to be fun. You got to remember, pace yourself, bet responsibly, but I will be firing from the hip tomorrow.
Yeah, bet responsibly, I think, was the best thing you said out of that entire sentence. But I do think we are going to go on a run tomorrow. We are absolutely going on a run. We're going 10-0 or however many bets we place tomorrow, because I'm going to be honest with you, I have not even spoken about all the bets that I'm placing this year because there's some shit that I need to do after we get out of here. But let's just say till next time, guys, awesome as always. Crack them, lock. Oh, wait a second. Don't forget to check out ontapsportsnet.com at ontapsportsnet on all social media platforms. We are at OnTap Bets. I am Joey Knows Nothing on Twitter. You can check out all the great work over there. Bulls, Bears, Blackhawks, Cubs. We're going to have some Cubs on Tap content from the bleachers tomorrow. Sox on Tap. I'm probably missing one or two, but you get the drill. Promo code ONTAP at Bet Rivers. Those are actually our sponsors. And I don't even know if we mentioned them once this entire podcast, and I feel terrible about that. Bet Rivers, what are you waiting for? It's free money. Go get it. Up to $250 deposit match, entering the promo code on tap. With that said, we're out of here. Cash them, crack them, lock them, crack them, cash them, lock. I don't know. We fucked that up. We're out till next time. Good luck.
Cubs in 4.